Hey everyone, welcome back to A-Level Lessons Online. Okay, I'm back with your mathematics. Okay, we're going to be looking at question 7 now. I've gone through question 1 to 3 or 5, 6 already in the previous few videos prior to this. So this is going to be a 2017 A-Level H2 Math Paper 1, question 7. Alright, this question is a question that I think a lot of students were actually unable to do. Okay, it's not a very hard question as well. It is a question on integration. Alright, so it is given that fx equals to sine 2mx plus sine 2nx, where m and n are positive integers and m is not equals to n. So part 1 asks you to find the integration of sine 2m x sine 2nx dx. Alright, part 1 is actually not say the hardest. Alright, you just need to picture this in your formula sheet. Alright, try and use your formula sheet to your what's the word? See, I can't even remember what's the word. Okay, try and use it to your help. What is the word? I forgot the word. Okay, but exploit your formula sheet. So let's see how we can use our formula sheet to do this first part. So you'll notice that in your formula sheet there is a sine 2x sine 2nx formula, right? So 2x formula. What you can do is the only thing is that you, in this case, you must, in the case of the formula sheet, you must have a 2 in front. Alright, so in order to do that, we're going to have to create that 2 somehow. Okay, and how we can do it is basically by adding a half in front. So I'm just going to write it out. Integrate sine 2mx sine 2nx dx. Alright, so this would equals to negative half. So I'm going to just force, I need to force the negative 2 into the formula. So into the equation. So I'm going to just take negative half in front. Just make it imaginary first. And then over here I'll have negative 2 sine 2mx sine 2nx dx. That is all. Alright, and now what you can do is very simply you just use your trigo identity and then just slot in your formula sheet. So it's just copy pasting now. So we're going to leave the negative half over there, but everything inside now will be replaced. So your formula will go cosine first, 2mx plus 2nx. Okay, and then after that your formula will have you do a minus, right? So it will be minus cosine 2mx minus 2nx. Sorry, there's no bracket here. And then dx. That's all. Alright, so now that you've gotten this part down, then we can then do a bit more of simplifying. So let's just simplify a little more. You just leave the negative half there, integrate cosine. You take out the 2, right? Because 2 is a common number. Okay, and you can also take out your m. Alright, so what you will get is 2m plus n x over here minus cosine 2m minus n x dx. Then now what we can do is you can get rid of the negative as well. So if we're going to get rid of the negative, it will just be equals to half integrate cosine 2m minus n x. Sorry, this is wrong. I just realized I made a mistake over here. So this should be m, but before that it should be a 2 outside the brackets. So likewise over here, don't make this mistake. This is why you have to make sure you're not careless. So you can leave the 2 outside. So cosine 2m minus nx, now it becomes a minus for the front part, which should be cosine 2m plus nx dx. That's all. Okay, after this, then you can start to do your integration. So cosine, when you integrate, it becomes sine. So you leave the half outside, put a big bracket, sine 2m minus nx. Alright, integrate the top part. Okay, you just need to integrate everything, the coefficient of x. So it's just 2 bracket m minus n. Done. And then after that, minus the next one, which is sine 2m plus n x over 2m plus n plus c. Okay, always remember to have your plus c whenever you integrate anything. Alright, then after this, once this is done, you can just take out the 2, okay, to make it all simplified again. So you get half, sorry, not half, you get 1/4. sine 2 m minus n x over m minus n minus sine 2m plus n x over m plus n plus c, and this should be our final answer. Done. Alright, so it's actually quite a simple part, okay, part 1. Okay, then if you're looking at part 2 now, part 2 is slightly more challenging, okay. They ask you to find they ask you to integrate, okay, with your limits from 0 to pi, okay, fx squared dx. So what you're going to do is, okay, let's just write it out first. So they want us to integrate from 0 to pi, fx squared dx. This is what they want. So what you can do is fx, right? Fx, you got it from, they already gave you a fx is that. So what I do is just sub in fx first. Then from there, we'll see what we can do about it. So integrate from limit 0 to pi sine 2mx plus, sine 2nx squared dx. So this was from your fx that was given in the question. So from here, what can you do? Okay, this is very simple. It is like your a plus b whole thing square. Okay, so what you're going to do is just going to expand it. So by expanding this, you will leave the integration sign there, pi 0 to pi. When you expand it, you're going to get sine square 2mx plus 2ab, right? So 2ab and then plus b square, which will be sine square 2x dx. Okay, so this happens when you expand it. This is your classic algebraic for equation. Okay, then after this, what you can do now is you can split it. So let's split it into 3 different parts so that it's clearer. Since the middle part, you already have the answer from previously. So you have 0 to pi sine square 2mx dx plus integrate 0 to pi 2 sine 2mx sine 2nx dx plus integrate 0 to pi sine square 2x dx. Alright, so from here, what can you do is you can then start to use the part 1 to your advantage. So part 1 already found what integration of sine 2mx sine 2nx dx is. So from here, this middle part over here, okay, can just be substituted into your answer that was found before, and then the rest we can actually start to integrate soon. But before that, you can't just simply integrate sine square, right? So we have to convert this back into your formula using a formula sheet. So when you look at formula sheet, okay, there's a formula for sine square. I think it's sine square x minus 1 equals to cosine 2x or something like that. Or is it that it's plus? Okay, so let's just use that. So what you're going to do is you have still 0 to pi. Then you can substitute this out using your formula sheet. Just shift some things around. You get 1 minus cosine 4 mx, okay, because it's cosine 2x over 2 dx. The middle part, you can take out the 2. So when you take out the 2, what actually happens is that your 2 will be no longer part of it, right? So you can just take this whole thing and then start to integrate it. So you get plus 1/4 yep, okay, so plus 1/4, then sine 2m minus n x over m minus n minus sine 2m plus n x over m plus n, and then this whole thing will be from pi to 0. Okay, and lastly, the last part, okay, you just need to integrate it as well. So you have pi 0 1 minus cosine 4 nx over 2 dx. Alright, so now that you've got this, then you can just start to work out what your answer is going to be already. So when you integrate this part, the first part, okay, you take out the half. 1 will just become x cosine 4mx, okay, will become sine, okay, positive sine, so you can still leave the negative sign there, minus sine 4mx, integrate the inside part, the coefficient of x, you just have 4m, you have pi to 0, and then the middle part, what you can do is you can sub in your pi. Okay, you realize that when you sub in pi to x, okay, sine pi will just be 0. So the whole thing will just become 0. Okay, because when you sub in pi over to these x values over here, okay, what happens is that m minus n, they are integers, so they are basically normal numbers. So you can ignore everything, you just focus on the x. So that means you just have sine pi of anything, be it 4 pi, 3 pi, 100 pi, will always be 0. So you have plus 0. And then the last part, you will have plus half bracket x minus sine 4n x over 4n from 0 to pi. And lastly, all you need to do now is just simply sub in your values. So you have half bracket pi minus, so likewise, you sub in the pi into your x over here, you just get 0. For the first part, that's why you only have pi. And then now this 0 that we're at over here, okay, is because you sub in the 0. So you sub in the 0 into your x, you have 0 minus 0. That's all. And then plus 0 plus half times pi. Okay, you sub in x to become pi, and then minus a 0. So your answer is actually very nice. It's just half pi plus half pi, and you will simply get pi. So that's your answer. Alright, so this question, yes, it is slightly more challenging, alright, but it's very simple once you realize that all you need to do is just use your trigo identities, use your formula sheet to your advantage, and you realize that the question isn't as bad as you think it is. Alright, so if you did enjoy this video, okay, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out a lot. As well as to subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. And the next question 8, will be out very, very soon, so you can stay tuned for that. Alright, so if not, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.